Okay, this is going to be a documentation. Sometimes I have to go back and look at these myself, so I can remember what varieties and what kinds and stuff. And somebody asked me if I would try to document the different varieties of tomatoes this year that I'm growing. Every year we grow at least 20 different varieties, and when it gets time and they're getting ripe and you can actually see what they are and all that stuff, I feel like I'm too busy and I never get, a video done of it. So I'm going to try my best this year to do that. To, show you the plants and how I'm doing it, and then, when it comes time to harvest, I'm going to try to go down through the rows and show you each tomato and tell you what kind it is and that kind of thing. Because I really enjoy when people do that too. Sometimes that's how I figure out, what I want to try the next year. So here's the little greenhouse. This greenhouse is only 8 by 10 or 8 by 12, I can't remember. And that's what people's like, how do you raise all them plants? And, they think you have this big, huge greenhouse, but you don't need this big, huge greenhouse to produce these plants. I start them off inside under a little grow light, and then move them on out here, transplant them, yada yada. So I've already sold, well, let's see, about 300 tomato plants has already came out of here. About that size probably. So, and then I just keep bringing them. I got another tray in the house that need to be took out of the little plugs and put into pots this week. They're about 2 inches tall or so. So anyways, here's some, this isn't like seeing a real tomato, but I thought I'd show you. This is the garden peach variety we've grew for many years. Yellow, fuzzy, salad type. Here's the black creme, very popular heirloom tomato. Beefsteak, old-fashioned, about as old-fashioned as it gets. I generally don't even raise the beefsteak, but somebody asked me something about them this year, and I said, sure. My husband got some seed in a birthday gift one time. Somebody bought him a whole bunch of seeds for his birthday, so that's where they came from. Red currant, white currant, that's one I've grown for, 3 or 4 years. Hillbilly, that's a striped one, kind of like, it's an heirloom, but kind of like your Mr. Stripey or something bicolored. There's the chocolate cherry. I've been raising him for 3 years. I really like him. Good flavor, good thin skin. I do not like thick skin cherry tomatoes. Just like trying to chew a cud or something. There's the white currant. And ground cherries. I really enjoy growing ground cherries. Make great pies and jams. Speaking of that, there's the little ground cherry plants. I transplanted a few out into the garden this past weekend. We're still a few days out from our frost date, and it is going to take a little chilly spell. I'm not sure. It's given maybe possible frost on Sunday, so we'll see. That's my little Shuggy. He likes to put flowers in Mama's greenhouse and in the house and everywhere else. So clematis is all bloomed out right now. So anyways, here's the potato leaf, yellow brandywine. I have some bigger, and then I have these smaller. Here we have some green chili and some gourmet bells. Here we have the indigo rose. We've got Eva's purple. We've got Marglow. In here, these are ones I will not be parting with. Blankenshine with a little cherry, kind of yellowish. Some evergreen. And some Thessalonica oxheart. I don't know if you can see that. Some bull's horn, sweet bells. No. Boy, my mind's gone today. Bull's horn, sweet pepper, but it's, shaped like a bull's horn. Here is some potato leaf, yellow brandywine, a little bit bigger plants. This here tray is all Goose Creeks. We have some more indigo rose, Some more margalo. Big chili, one that is a hybrid. But if you're looking for a green chili, you know, big Anaheim green chili, you cannot beat that. Biggie chili, that's what it's called. Some little margalobes. We have down here Tasty Evergreen and some red cherry and some resin traub. And these, we got some early cuss and some garden peach. There's some I just potted up for a few of my friends. They wanted some bee balm, and then there's some little basils. There's the rhubarb that I nearly killed one night back in March, into March I guess it was. I had them out here in the greenhouse in the day, and I was going to take them in at night, and it got down, it just dropped like 20-something degrees within a couple hours, and I had them sitting on the porch, and I nearly killed all of them. But Mom's got 300 and something plants that much bigger than this, going really good, and we just transplanted 2 rows of those over at that farm. There's some ping tongue eggplants, the long eggplant. This is the first time raising it for me. It's supposed to get really tall, produce tons of eggplants. There's some volunteer kale, and I planted those sunflowers in there, me and Soren. Those are, he always loves to grow tons of flowers in his garden. San Marzanos. Look at the growth habitat of the striped Roman. I've grown it for about 4 years. It's very fine and almost gives you the indication that it looks like it needs watered. But you can always tell those plants. I've never seen another tomato plant that really has that kind of look to it. That's a striped Roman. Beautiful tomato. I really enjoy it. Some more Goose Creek, some more yellow brandywine. Those are some ground cherries. Remember my loofah plant for loofah gourds. Some more peppers. Some more basil that somebody needs to come pick up and relieve me of it. San Marzano. Whole tray of indigo rose there. Some more ground cherries. Alright, so that's what's in the greenhouse hanging out right now. I have about 50-something 1-gallon pots just waiting to go in the garden. They're out there, they're hardened off and ready to go. Chocolate mint that I potted up that people will want. Some Freckles romaine needs just a little bit more growth, and I'll transplant it. This is a tray of beefsteak. They'll be headed to market Friday. I thought 2 weeks ago, you know, I sold all the tomatoes, and, you know, between probably 250 and 300 plants went out of that greenhouse, and I said, well, I'm done selling, you know, I don't have any more. And then I realized today, after I got out there looking, that I have over 200 in these, like 3 and 4 inch pots. I have over 50 out there underneath the tree in gallon pots, and then I have more in the house that's going to need transplants. So I thought, you know, I'm going to take these to market on Friday and part with, you know, maybe 100 or so. Here's the basils that I've been potting up. They're going to need quite a bit more growth, but all kinds of gourmet basils. And some